Hello there, happy Monday. This is an email from somebody, and they wrote, "Hi, so I've been pretty heavily restricting for about a year while living on campus at my uni and being home in the weekends. It's now only really it's only really now that I'm trying to recover, and I've realised just how much my two younger sisters have noticed. I feel absolutely awful about it because I would be getting so many compliments about how skinny I was, and I'm sure that they have clued into that, and that being in connection with my limited food. I'm 19, so both my sisters are very young and have no idea about my eating being disordered, so I'm worried that them thinking they should be eating tiny amounts to be skinny as well. They often talk about their bodies and wanting to lose weight even though they are in early teens." I think that's something certainly to be worried about, and especially because if you have the genetics for a restrictive eating disorder, then your sisters probably do too. So if they start restricting food, then it's highly likely that bad things are going to happen. And I think that you can use your responsibility to your sisters as some motivation to stop doing what you're doing, because you're doing that. You know, what you're doing to your body's not okay, and it's not. You're 19 now, it's not going to get any better. Your eating disorder's only going to get worse, it's going to get more entrenched. So now really is the time to try and get recovered. Stop this, stop eating tiny amounts, stop trying to be skinny. And how do you expect, we have this culture of thinness, and I know that people who have restrictive eating disorders aren't necessarily, I wasn't even doing it to be thin. I didn't want to be thin, that wasn't my aim. You don't have to want to be thin to have an eating disorder, but I was still contributing to diet culture by restricting heavily, exercising a lot, being skinny, and getting, other people asking, "Wow, how are you so skinny?" and this, that, and the other. And so I had to take on, although it's not my fault that I had an eating disorder, I still had to take on this. That was my responsibility, and by doing those things, I was contributing to other people thinking that maybe they should be doing those things as well. Maybe they should be restricting, maybe they should be trying to be skinny. So eating disorder is not about wanting to be thin necessarily, but we still have a responsibility. Everything we do impacts other people. We don't live in a vacuum, and that responsibility make some people feel like, well, we don't like that, do we? Don't like thinking that what we say and what we do affects other people, but it's true, it does. And so even if your intention is not to inspire other people to diet and over-exercise and lose weight, by doing so yourself, that's pretty much what you're adding into. And I think that was something that I really loved about going into recovery and gaining weight. And I was, really, although my eating disorder was terrified of gaining weight, and I was scared of gaining weight because I had anorexia, there was a part of me that was proud of doing so and proud of being like, "Fuck you, diet culture." And so, yeah, I think that I like being proud of that. I like being not part of diet culture. I like being the only girl in the group sometimes that's sitting there eating a double cheeseburger. I love that. Love it. And so I think that when we push ourselves to behave a certain way to represent what we actually want to represent, then our belief systems can actually change so that we believe in that thing that we're representing. Because at first, I was terrified of eating all the food I was eating. I was terrified of gaining weight and all of those things. But it's almost like I just pretended that I wasn't and pretended that I was proud of it. And after a while, I was actually proud of it, and I do feel proud of it. And I'm not, obviously because I recovered, I was no longer scared of eating and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling, but basically, you have an eating disorder, you need to either get some professional help or pull yourself out of it, basically start eating, stop restricting food. You know what to do, you know that you're doing it. Stop the food restrictions, stop the over-exercise, whatever else it is doing. Stop suppressing your natural body weight, and use your little lovely sisters as motivation to help you stop with those things. If you can't do that on your own, you need to seek support in order to help you do that. Hope that helps.